Alright guys, next section. Good job on that role play. Each time you did it, each time you role play, you'll get closer and closer to making the decision, I got this. Okay, the analogy I used, and I learned this from a course I took, it was like a bag of popcorn. You put it in the microwave, it like, it's like pop, 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 pop. And then sometimes you open the bag and that last pop, like, the heck, where'd that guy come from, or that gal? So the idea is that you guys are like that bag of popcorn, and that popping is like you giving yourself permission to believe or decide, I got this and we'll do well, right? So that comes at different rates. Some of you guys won't get that until like third day of training. I suggest you will give yourself permission to do that sooner. Alright, I mean, because once you decide, I got this, you'll then really take action to follow the program, right? Because then that's your way of being right about, I got this and I can do really well with the program overall, you know? So, with that said, page 4 is the next part of the demo. And again, as a review, the first part was why should I be a candidate? Okay, the next part of the demo was why should I replace what I'm using? And now that those two things are answered, the next question at the top of page 4 is why, that's going to be P, that's Steven, so good. Okay, cool.
Hey, Steven, what's up?
Turn off my reader. So it should, I'll write this down at the top of page 4, why does Cutco cost what it does? Why does Cutco cost what it does? There you go. Sure. Why does Cutco cost what it does? Okay, so why does Cutco cost what it does? So now, if I said, hey guys, read that question back to me, or do you remember what that is? And if you go, why does Cutco cost really a lot of money? It means you yourself as a sales rep are insecure about price. Tomorrow we're going to talk about what's called price conviction. All of you guys have product conviction, you believe in Cutco, others you would beer. But you also have to be able to have the maturity to believe in the pricing of our products as well. Okay, so that's why it says, why does Cutco cost what it does, not why does it cost so much. Because if you have the opinion of that as a salesperson, you can imagine you'll be insecure when you communicate price to the person. So Cutco does have a higher price tag, but you have to understand why. Alright, and if you understand why yourself, it's easy to then obviously get that point across to somebody that you're dealing with. Alright? And so, who's reading last?
It was probably mine, I think it was mine.
Cool, so Steve, you dive in there, man? This features then.
There are 5 features that make Cutco the world's finest set of cutlery. Take out petite carver and hand to the customer. How does that feel in your hand?
That feels great.
The universal wedge lock handle fits any size hand, left, right, big or small.
Okay, so look where this matches up with. Turn one page into the blue binder where there should say quality at the top in red writing. That's a picture of the petite carver. Tomorrow on your knife sheets, or Saturday rather, I'll have you write down the order of the knives you pull out of the bag and also the names of them so it's easier to remember. You only have 4 knives in your kit. Again, it's enough to demonstrate the technology, but you're going to label which ones are which so you can then hand them over to them. This goes back to you want them to experience the product, not just hear about the product. Remember, it has to be both a intellectual decision but also
Emotional.
bingo, yeah, so it taps into their feelings and their senses. So that's why as much as possible you put it back in their hand. A little tip for you, anytime you hand them a knife, pick one up yourself because then they're less likely to give it back to you, the one they have in their hand. So it stays in their hand as long as possible. And even if they put it down, when you go to the next feature, pick it back up again, hey, check out that. Okay, and they put it back down, like, oh yeah, well now look at this steel. Alright, so as much as possible, it's being put in their hands. That's how that works, guys, okay? And more than anything else, it's more of an unconscious type of feeling. Because we make most of our decisions in life unconsciously. Let me paint that picture for you. If you're walking down the street with your cell phone, eating some food, and you're going to step around the pothole. But you don't consciously see the pothole, but you do still see it, right? You unconsciously see it. So the idea is that moment to moment, most of the decisions we're making, your body just skips over the conscious, it just keeps it unconscious. So if a car's coming at you, you obviously don't think, let me take my right foot here, my left foot there. Okay, you just kind of make those decisions. That's why you ever meet somebody after 30 seconds, you kind of already have a feeling about them. Unconsciously, you've already made multiple what? Judgments and decisions about that individual. Okay, exactly. So you want to pay attention to those things. So the idea is that as they're feeling the product line, they're making a whole, but that's just how human beings work, guys. We're making like thousands, in fact, each day. Decision. Most of them are just totally unconscious to us. So to have them feel the product over and over again. Okay. Next.
Your thumb and forefinger lock into place for better control and safety. And it's an ergonomic design that reduces hand fatigue and slipping. This makes Cutco more expensive, but it's worth it because it's comfortable and safe.
Okay, so write down MoMA, or Museum of Modern Art, next to the Universal Wedge Lock Handle section. Museum of Modern Art is a famous museum. The handle was on display there way back when in like the 50s or whatever. Thomas Lamb is the inventor. You should probably write that down as well. Lamb, Thomas Lamb. Wikipedia when you get a chance. He's a famous inventor, architect, and designer. Now, this picture in your blue binder, see the illustration of the hands? Those are his drawings. So Thomas Lamb, the inventor, when he was shaping the handle, he obviously studied the anatomy of the hand and made sure the universal lamb wedge lock handle fits perfectly into it. We had to pay him money to use his design on our knives. Okay, so we paid a lot of money for that handle so that our customers could have the best. You guys remember from the interview, 80% of the human hand strength comes between the thumb and the pointer finger, forefinger, so that's exactly what he had in mind when he was shaping it properly, okay? If you don't remember all these things, so be it. That's why just use your manual. But the point you're getting across is why we cost more and the benefit that Cutco provides for them, right, overall, guys. Okay, so next paragraph, next, Sam.
We use thermoresin for our handle material, which will not chip, crack, or break. It's an expensive material to use, but it's worth it because it is dishwasher safe and sanitary.
Put down football helmet material by there, so, it's football helmet material. Now they can relate to the strength of that, and again, it's expensive, but worth it. It's expensive, but worth it. Costs more, but worth it. You see that theme? I'm going to constantly remind you of this theme. It's called build value. It's called increased price expectancy. Again, you want the expected price to outweigh the real price, our actual price. Okay, next. Done.
Cutco has a full tang construction. Most companies use a partial tang to save money. Using the extra steel is more expensive, but that's worth it because it creates strength and balance.
Okay. Go ahead, keep going.
Our knives have 3 nickel-silver rivets, which are flush with the handle. This eliminates gaps and spaces, keeping it strong and sanitary.
Okay, Peter.
We use a very high-grade steel.
In the little parentheses, put 440A. So that little parentheses to the right, put 440A. There's a 440A. Keep going.
This steel is expensive to use, but it's worth it because it has the best of both worlds. It has high carbon for edge retention and the stain resistance for beauty. It's both sanitary and sharp.
If you haven't watched the Modern Marvels video yet, do that tonight. It'll take you back 6 minutes or so, give or take. You want to be able to see that now that you're getting more of an appreciation for it here in the manual. You'll understand it a bit better when you're watching that video. Don't forget the heat treating process that we do with our steel. So not only do we have to pay a lot of money to get the steel, we then obviously have to then have the machinery set up to heat it to 1,000+ degrees, cryogenically freeze it, and reheat it again. Those type of things you don't include in every demo, but you may deal with a customer that wants to know a little bit extra information. Percentage of people are like that, right? So by at least having access to some of that stuff, so I would, anytime you watch the Modern Marvel video moving forward, have your manual out and put some additional bullet points here or there. Okay, incorporate some of those things into your demonstration. You don't have to, but again, if somebody asks, or they need that little extra oomph, that little extra reason why it's better, it doesn't hurt to throw that in there, guys. Okay. Next.
Cutco is famous for our exclusive Stay Sharp Double D edge.
Yeah.
Let's compare how the different types of edges work. We cut rope because it's tough like vegetables and meats, but it will not hurt your knife's edge. And remember, Cutco is sharp, so be careful.
Okay, cool, Juliet. So check it out. The next thing, so this is where you want to execute the cutting demonstration in a way that actually has them experience the technology and the sharpness and the fun of using Cutco cutlery. So a couple of things you guys saw over here. You gotta make, when you were doing it yourselves, remember if you use full strokes, because if you just go back and forth 1 inch at a time, you're only now using 1 inch of surface area. Plus, don't have the customer pick up in the air as they're pulling back, because remember then it won't come in contact until like the point of the blade hits the rope. So you have to keep it level with the ground. The joke I always use is like imagine painting a wall, that every time you're about to paint, you pull the brush away. You're like, why is there no paint on this wall? You're like pulling it away as you're trying to put paint on it. Doesn't make sense. So when you're cutting through something, you want the knife to like stay in contact with the rope. So if you have to, have them do it again until they push down and go whoosh through with a wow, yeah. In a second, I'm going to show you where to write. Remember the whole if Cutco could do in half the strokes? Would you be impressed by that? All right, so Mel, you're up. Why don't you read the italics?
Cut with customer serrated edge, cut with customer straight edge.
Okay, so right after that, insert in if Cutco, guys, I'll have to write this down. If Cutco could do it in half the strokes, would you be impressed by that? If Cutco, so right after they cut with their straight edge, you're going to put down if Cutco could do it in half the strokes, would you be impressed by that? So again, right after they cut with their straight edge, you're going to say, or ask rather, if Cutco could do it in half the strokes, would you be impressed by that? So again, if Cutco could do it in half the strokes, would you be impressed by that? So this is the opposite of hype. If their knife takes 8 strokes, you're going to say if Cutco could do it in 4, would you be impressed by that? Now you may have somebody who pulls a knife out brand new out of package. Don't forget the previous section. You explain why knives will eventually go what? Dull, right? Or bad dull. You know, right? So the idea would be don't get intimidated if they do have a knife that cuts through pretty crisply, because every knife out of package, even a crappy one at a grocery store, will cut through with one stroke. Problem is once you start to rub it on a cutting board, then it loses its edge. I mean, shoot, if it didn't cut through one stroke out of package, it'd be defective, right? But the question is, how long does that go for? You know, and a lot of those knife companies, they don't last very long. That's the problem. My point is, don't get intimidated by anything. You ever have those uh-oh moments? Like, uh-oh, that's not going the way I wanted it to. So as much as possible, train yourself in life to not go, uh-oh, something's wrong here. So, and if you could do that, wow, so much more, you know, we have so much more power to be able to accomplish things. So, you know, we had a rep the other day. Some customer had a brand new knife out of package, and it was like, it was pretty crisply. And he had just gotten done explaining why knives could dull anyway, but he got intimidated by that. You get it? And then the way we cope with that as human beings, if we think like, uh-oh, it's weird, then we usually get very passive and like wimpy, everyone knows? Okay. All right, everything just kind of, you know, from there. So in that moment, he didn't have to decide, this is going bad. Right? He could just not decide anything, right? Take things at face value, like, oh well, no big deal, move on to the next thing. And I just got done explaining why it goes dull anyway. So it really doesn't matter, guys, you know? Sometimes I have them take out their, like, oh, give me a knife you haven't even used, whatever, let's try it out. Alright, so, and again, don't just understand that you already answered the whole why do knives go dull, right? Rubbing on card surfaces. Alright, why don't you finish that up, Mel, and then we'll switch over on the italics.
Cut with Cutco Petite Carver. Hold rope with both hands. Start with back of blade. Pull one long stroke, then go back and forth.
Yeah, actually, why don't you read the first 3 bullet points, and then we'll switch on.
The reason this edge works so well is because it's not serrated. Cutco's double D edge has 3 straight edges that are protected by the points. Cuts forward, backward, and straight down.
Okay, next.
It doesn't rip or tear like a serrated edge. It cuts like a straight edge. The points protect the recessed edges from dulling on cutting boards and hard surfaces. This unique edge uses expensive technology, but it's well worth it. If used properly, the DD edge will remain sharp for up to 10 years. Not all Cutco knives have a DD edge. The double D edge is used for cutting back and forth, while straight edges are only used for chopping, dicing, and precision cutting.
Okay, awesome. So next page. Okay, now don't rip out the thing I stapled in. Does everybody have a brand new forever guarantee stapled in? Okay, good. You should have something stapled in. You don't rip it out. Don't look underneath. It's new. It's improved. You're going to use that. All right, don't be like, all right, so, okay, so, by the way, in your blue binder, you'll see there's a picture after the handle design, or the hand, his illustration. You see the double D edge, the blown up version of it? Yeah, right there. It just makes it easier to point at the picture saying, hey, there's 3 miniature straight edges between every 2 points. Okay, guys? So between the 2 points, there's literally 3 miniature straight edges. So as I'm rubbing that edge right there, the Cutco double durable edge against a cutting board, are those 3 edges touching the cutting board, the plate? No, because they're up and above. You get that? They're recessed into the actual metal. And that's the beauty of our durability, that the points protect those 3 edges from touching against the hard surface. Knives go dull not because they rub against food. They go dull because they rub against a plate. If food could dull metal, you wouldn't be able to chew it. Okay? So, you get that? So when I'm cutting through with the Cutco double durable edge, the points are hitting the cutting board. The 3 edges are still making contact with the food, however. This food's pretty thick. That's why it's still able to cut. Alright, so you promote that to a customer, they clearly get it. Top of the guarantee page, write down, because of this guarantee, we cost more. That is something you're going to say to the customer. Hey Judy, because of this guarantee, we cost more. This goes back to, again, price, expected price versus actual price. I might as well just illustrate it, it'll save us time. Okay, so here's what it looks like, guys. Being your demo, people value knives based on their past experience. Some of them don't know knives cost more money. They think of crappy, like, grocery store knives, right? And so if you were to dive in, and this right here, this is what's called actual price. If you were to tell them the price of Cutco at the beginning of the demonstration, they wouldn't appreciate it. You guys get it? They wouldn't understand it. So your demo is basically this. It's an explanation. Each V stands for value. You guys get it? You dig? You dig? So one of the biggest blocks of value, isn't it? Would it be the forever guarantee? What's another big block of value? What does the knife offer them? What does Cutco offer people? What's that?
Free shower game.
It's a forever guarantee, but what else? And what about the knife makes it more valuable? Ergonomic design, perfect, and the fact that it's more comfortable. So not only do you mention the design, but what it brings them, perfect. What else? Safety, I love it. I'm so glad you say safety because not only will you say the edge is sharp, it's more efficient, safety we also assign value to. As if I said this car is safer than that car, we automatically think, we know that it costs more money then. Better airbags, blah, 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 right? Like if I said this car has leather interior, that one doesn't, we know that the leather interior one costs more, but there's also a reason why we have leather interior.
Steven just sold a homemaker.
Nice.
And where's the wrap approaches at? Just make sure I have one.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Black file cabinet. Second one down, I think towards the back. All right, so I see it's $1,000. You could call off the CPO on those, dude.
Yeah, 1278 grand day.
So $1,200 order. Obviously, our office average was $300, but we're gradually increasing over time. So you just Steven?
Yeah, over
so he's
5,500 now.
Nice. So Steven's almost had a 6K promotion. Remember telling you guys about Steven? He just missed nationally ranked last week. All right. Actually, he's even higher because that $600 order goes through this week.
Oh yeah.
So he may be
I think
at
it was included
6K.
there.
I don't know. You'll figure it out. Okay, good. Jack's a stickler for knowing the numbers, which is what you want in your assistant managers. Okay, it's a very good thing. Can I? Next time, this is what not to do.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so just find that. All right. Oh boy. The old Joe probably would have thrown something at you. Alright, so new and improved Joe doesn't. But okay, so because this guarantee costs more, you're going to build value upon value upon value. So this ends up being what's called expected price, right? Okay, so expected price, actual price. As long as the expected price outweighs the actual price, they're happy, right? All right, but what you don't want is the expected price to be lower, right? Because then you're like, ooh, I thought that was going to cost less. You tell me more? Not interested. All right, so you have to do your job, which is explain why something costs more money. All right, with that said, we have two. Who's just reading? Okay. Go for it, Tanya.
Question: is there anything in your home that you don't pay to maintain, will never replace, and will always be there? Will always be the best forever.
Well, for me, my Cutco, but the answer is no. All right, so that's a point for us then. Go ahead.
We are the only product that you buy once, use every day, and never have to replace. You don't need a sales receipt, and the product is your proof of purchase. And you can pass it down generation to generation. There are four parts to the guarantee.
Okay, next, Alejandro.
Number one, forever performance. If anything ever goes wrong with your set of Cutco, they send it back and the company will fix it or replace it for free, like Craftsman's tools.
Okay, about it. Go past now the double D edge, and I believe in these binders you'll see the next thing is the Forbes magazine article. Listen, you don't have to read the whole article to them. Do you guys get they just need to see the word Forbes? Okay, that's credibility. All right, so I don't think I have to read every word to you, Aunt Sally. Now they just see Forbes and it talks about a forever guarantee. That's exciting that they chose to talk about us there. Okay, so the more you can promote stuff like that, just the more confident they become in buying this product line. Turn to the next page. This right here, this is the receipt that I was given by the company when I sent back, I think, 46 tools. So in a bit, this will make more sense. This is a good way to illustrate the whole taking advantage of the forever guarantee. So I sent back 46 tools. This is me, Joe Giannelli, and they don't know that I'm a manager. When they get Cutco back, it's just a person sending back Cutco. 6 of the tools, I believe, they replaced totally. It says replaced or free. Depends on what side your thing was hole punched on. Okay, but these was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them were replaced past the point of no return. They were broken. They had to be given new ones. Guys, don't put Cutco on a pedestal, like as if it's indestructible, because then you're just exaggerating it. Like anything made by mankind could be broken, but that's why we give them new ones if it does. But out of 40-something tools, only what was it? How many did you count? 7 were replaced. The other 40 were totally in working condition, and they were like 13 years old. All of them, most of them. Some of them were like these old school ones. Like this one right here, they reapplied the edge and set it back. This is a 50-plus-year-old slicer that they put the edge back on and set it back to me. I believe it was one of those listed there. My point is it cost me nothing, they gave me new ones. So please don't promote the customer, hey, you could run this over with a bulldozer and it won't break. So you may stumble upon some pieces of Cutco that have been damaged, but that's okay. We will do what? Replace it for free, which is why we have the guarantee that we have, guys, okay? But all the other ones were just sharp and touched up, and then on the right side, say that's a 0. Inevitably, how much did it cost me in return shipping? No, it cost me a little bit. It cost me $9. Right? I need 45 tools I sent back. They guaranteed that they'd get them back to original condition or give me new ones. Cost me $9 in return shipping. It was 26 pounds of steel. Alright? 26 pounds of steel. So obviously it cost them a lot more money than $9. If you have any questions pertaining to the guarantee, wait 1 second, Peter, because let's get through it and then I'll ask. I'm kind of like, what's the word? I'm like prefacing it by showing you this and then we'll go through each one here. Alright, so let's go through each one. So the first part's the forever performance part of the guarantee. You just read that out there, right? Okay, so we're good. Alright, so we're back over here. Martin, you're next, yes.
So to the forever sharpness, if at any time of the night you finish set a Cutco needs sharpening, just send it back and it'll be sharpened and polished for free. All you pay is for shipping.
Which I just illustrated. It's $9 for 4. By the way, towards the middle, way down, it actually writes down $6 for 1 to 3 items, $9 for or more than 3. So because I sent back more than 3, it cost me just $9 in return shipping. Teach the customer how to do it. Go to Cutco.com. Please do not take their Cutco from them. Let me say that again. Do not take their Cutco from them because we've had reps lose customers. Cutco, not a pretty picture. You guys get that? So if it's old Cutco, you know, like if I was just an average Joe customer, haha, my name is Joe, and I have these 46 tools, and a rep came to me to sell me more, I would have bought a couple more things, and then he or she would have taught me how to send everything back. They would have taken my Cutco from me. Are we crystal clear on that? Do not take people's Cutco. Teach them how to do it. I want them to be fully responsible and take care of their own product line. Don't you do it because that just puts an extra thing on your plate and it just sets you up potentially to not, whatever. The point is just don't do it, okay? Alright? So Cutco.com, you go to that site and you can click on sharpening and it teaches the customer how to do it. And literally they can just print up a tag and they can use a credit card if they want to pay the return shipping. It's pretty easy. I mean, you should on your own just pretend to be a customer and see what they experience. So it's the sharpening. We don't have time today, but within this site, before we leave training, there's a series of videos that like show a chef using the different tools. Especially important so you understand and appreciate that all these tools are practical and will be used. You don't look at it as some weird, big, you know, unnecessary, excessive knives. You want to be able to look at it as, okay, that's practical, I get that, alright? And yeah, so in-home shop, well, here would be factory sharpening, USA, United States, because we also have Cutco Canada, guys. And then it's pretty self-explanatory, alright? It talks about how, somewhere in here it should say like the whole $9 thing and $6 thing. I don't know, it's in your guarantee and then the page in your blue binder anyway. So I think on the next screen it would just give them an option how they want to pay for it and so on, alright? Clear? So don't take their Cutco, teach them how to do it, just like I did it myself personally, and I set back 46 something tools, and we were good to go with that. Alright, next bullet point. Allie?
Forever misuse and abuse. If you happen to destroy your Cutco through abuse, then you can send it back to the company and it will be replaced at half the current retail value. Rely on your honesty.
Yeah, so if they use the knife, like if I take this steak knife right here and I use it like a screwdriver and it snaps off, that's not what it's meant for, right? It's misuse. In that case, if we know that that's how they broke it, we would charge them half price. But do we know how they broke it? No, so we rely on their honesty. So if you look in the blue binder, go to the guarantee, go down to the forever replacement agreement, misuse or abuse, send the product with an explanatory note. You guys see that? So unless the customer admits it to us, we're just going to go ahead and give them a new one for free because the customer's always right. So they're not always going to write the note. You guys know that. All right, but you want to promote, hey, listen, we have the misuse or abuse. If you break this through misuse, we charge you half price. We rely on your honesty. That way it discourages them from using it like a screwdriver or prying open a can of paint. Fair enough? But if we get a piece of Cutco sent back to the factory it's broken and there's no note, we give them a new one for free. Yeah, exactly. By the 15-day money back, you'll see in a bit, they can use it for a couple of months and still get their money back. We're not going to be like, ha, day 16, you're screwed. You know? It just doesn't serve us any good to have unhappy customers out there. So to rely on word-of-mouth advertising, to be around for 60 years, to have like an amazing Cutco following, and people do our product line, customers are always right. Alright, so now you should promote 15 days, but just know that even if they use it for a couple of months, we'd err on the side of helping the customer out. Alright, so next. Michael?
Sorry, I lost those.
We're on number 4, which is the 15-day trial, Thinker's Guarantee. In your training manual, guarantee page.
Date your set of Cutco before marrying it.
Yeah.
This is the best part of the guarantee. This is similar to test driving a car before you get it. Cutco wants their customers to be 100% satisfied with the product. If for any reason you are not 100% satisfied, you can get a full refund. That's how confident we are that you will.
Okay, great. Now, to the right of that or somewhere in the area, write down why should I buy today or why should I get it today? Use the word get. That's the next question that needs to be answered by you. Why should I get Cutco today? Why should I get Cutco today? So guys, as customers, we have what's called folding, actually as humans, we have what's called folding memories. So your demo itself, like the price tag is what you're explaining to people. Let's say these squiggly lines are reasons why Cutco costs what it does. As humans though, we're not hard drives. That's why you have to actually study your notes before a test. I wish we could just press save, see how, like as if we were a computer hard drive and then be able to like recall and access it, right before the test, but that's just not how things work with us as humans. What I want to illustrate to you is the importance of having somebody buy today versus when? Tomorrow or the future. And here's why. If your aunt says she's going to buy next week, she really won't. Not because she's lying to you, and how dare you call my aunt a liar. I'm not calling her a liar. Here's why. Because we have what's called folding memories. So the second the demo's over, as humans, we begin to forget about that experience a little bit. Okay, so dollar signs there, that's what Cutco's worth, or that's the price rather, right? Squiggly lines are all the reasons why it's awesome and the fun that they had in the demo. Boom. Demo's over, they immediately will begin to forget about some of the information, right? 2 weeks go by, they forget about the thermal resin, stuff like that. But guess what they always remember though? The price, but then they forget about all of the reason why, right? So that's why they say they're going to buy a month from now, but a month from now they've forgotten about all of this, okay? So they're like, I could do without that, you know what I mean? That's why if you're sitting down with a housewife, you want to make sure she's comfortable at least getting the product sent to her now, and the husband and her could try it, because you and the housewife know why Cutco's awesome, right? You guys know all this information, but the husband only hears what?
How much it costs?
Yeah, so he's like, what? He's like, you want to get divorced? All right. And so you got to make sure she's comfortable getting it sent. That's why we have the 15-day money-back guarantee. There's no risk involved in them trying it out together. This is why long-distance relationships sometimes are tricky, because out of sight, out of mind. You guys get that? Absence does not make the heart grow fonder. It actually makes it wander. All right, you've heard that expression. That's why thank goodness for Skype, thank goodness for stuff like that, because at least we can be, reminded at least visually. But ultimately, as humans, we have to. Our memory will always fold about things. We have to constantly have that reminder. So that's why you'll find that you'd rather sell somebody one knife than to have them promise to buy sets in the future. Because they buy at least one knife, at least they have the constant reminder in their kitchen, and then it's easy to upgrade later. Okay, so never forget this visual. It's called folding memories, what it is. And this is why, it's, if you really want to help a customer, answer the question, why should I get it now, today, exactly. And that ties into this section we're going through right now, guys. Okay, whoever's reading, that person, okay, we're up to, it's up to you, Liana.
Yes, personal guarantee. If you're not happy with your set of Cutco, don't waste your money by sending it in. Give me a call and I'll come over and pick it up and return it for you. Miss Blank, could you please get your address book, phone, and put my name and number in so you can easily get a hold of me?
Okay. That way at the end they have that out, so it's easier to get a lot more referrals as well. One thing we kind of skipped over, and I'll cover this more before you're done with training by day 3, is the deposit program. And from the interview, you guys should know that orders can be divided over how many payments? 5 if they're above $300 in size. Okay, so really for me to get a product sent to me, I just have to pay 1/5 now. You'll send the product to me. If I don't like it, we reverse the 1/5 charge. If I like it, I keep paying the payments. So now you should not be getting too many returns because of the reasons we covered earlier. Because somebody has hands-on experience and then they decide whether they like Cutco or not. My first summer I had 80 sales. 1 person returned their Cutco, and then 1 woman reduced the size of her order, but still has Cutco. So 79 people out of those 80 still have the product line. Occasionally you'll get a return, no big deal, shake it off, it is what it is, whatever, okay? But because of the fact that they get hands-on experience, it shouldn't really be happening that often again. However, you want somebody comfortable at least trying it out. You ever notice how you guys don't really care about rebates unless they're instant usually? Because I don't trust that I'll actually send the coupon thing in and jump through 3 hoops. That's how it shows up in my brain, in my mind. Like I've actually paid parking tickets that I didn't justly get, but I would rather pay it than to go fight it or go. It's just the way my mind works. So what we want to get is that a customer a lot of times will not even take advantage of a money-back guarantee if they don't trust that they're going to send it back. Yeah, so what we do in this office, now I already told you clearly that if they have old Cutco, you should not what? Yeah, but in the case that they're returning new Cutco, like they're trying it out, I'm okay then if you pick it up. And I personally, as a district manager, I pay for the customer shipping back to the company. Normally the customer would have to do that on their own, right? They have to send it back to get their money back. Okay, but in this office, I'll send it back. And I'll pay, or you'll send and I'll pay for it. I'll give you the money. You guys get it? That way a customer has nothing to lose, because a lot of times customers think they're lazy. They think of themselves as being lazy. They're like, oh, well, if I'm going to get it, I'll just keep it because I'm too lazy to send it back in. We don't want that to be the case. Don't we want them to be able to try it out with any risk? Do you want to say that? Hey, listen, Judy, the beauty of this is I'll pick it up from you, so you don't even have to put it in your to-do list to get it done. If you don't like it, I'll come pick it up from you. So you have nothing to lose by trying it out. In fact, you can just put down 1/5 as a deposit. That's really just the first payment, Judy, because we have these cool payment options. And you'll try out the product, you and your husband, for a while. If you like it, keep paying the payments. If not, we just have to reverse that first, what? The first payment, deposit, that 1/5. Alright, it'll make more sense as we go through like order writing, stuff like that, but I want to plant seeds for it now, so that way when you hear it again tomorrow or the day after, you're like, alright, Joe already talked about that a little bit. Like all this stuff I'm covering with you guys, you don't need to memorize or remember. I'm going to review it anyway. So even if you're like already nodding out, it's alright, no big deal. Alright? When in doubt, just read your manual, you'll be fine. Okay, and I'm going to revisit these things with you anyway later on, so. Okay, so we did personal guarantee. To send Cutco back, who's next? Let's read that. Steven?
Send Cutco back for sharpening. Go to Cutco.com, click on sharpening at the top of the page, fill out the online form, pack up the knife securely, wrap it in cardboard, and send to a lien. Address on forever guarantee page. Include check for return shipping, $6 for 1 to 3 items, and $9 for more than 3 items.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Wes, you're next.
So what did you think about our guarantee?
It's awesome. Now, to the right of that, write this down. The next question that you have to answer is why does Cutco come as a set? Why does Cutco come as a set? So to the right of that, you're going to put down why does Cutco come as a set? So now up to this point, the sale should be created. The size of it has yet to be determined. You should answer the question, why should I be a candidate to get Cutco today? Why should I replace what I'm using? That should be answered. Why does it cost more? Why should I buy today? So you get that if those questions are answered, then you'll create a sale today. The size of it is going to be determined by how well you explain why cutlery comes as a what?
Set.
A set, yeah. Now it's not, look closely, it's not why should I get a set, because that implies that they know they could do what?
Get less.
Get less, right? Instead it's why does Cutco come as a set. So you just want them to assume, based on you presenting it and explaining logically, they should just assume that that's just what we do, we get sets. See, most people are never taught how to use knives. So they think they can use one knife for everything. Like the one knife cowboy, we used to call it. That's just whatever, it doesn't apply anymore. But the one knife bandit or something, it's like, I use one knife for everything, it's my favorite knife. Alright, it's like, well, that's just not the case, because it's shaped for only a particular task. So you yourself would have to have an appreciation for why knives are shaped the way they're shaped, in order to then communicate that to the customer, okay? So Wes, why don't you read the next 3 little lines there?
Basic, cutters not cookers, family, practical tools with fun and unique tools, complete, practical tools with our customer requested tools.
So I had a poster or 2 made up here. So on the far right, guys, okay, this is what a basic set is, and we'll review it. It's the Homemaker plus 8. Don't worry about memorizing this now, you'll get more familiar. Plus whatever means how many table knives it comes with. Obviously we have different knives in here, but just get the visual of it, okay? Homemaker plus 8. With the kitchen tools and a pair of shears, or what we in this office call the basic set. If I contacted the company, they would have no clue what the heck you're talking about. It's a package deal. So on the order form, it actually is 3 different items. Kitchen tool set, pair of shears, Homemaker plus 8. Tomorrow you're going to say why we do it. We do it so that you can then say, can you do it without the kitchen tools, can you do it without the shears? And it gives you the ability to drop down a bit smaller. Alright, tomorrow it'll all be written word for word, how to choose the price, and then go down from there. Okay? That's what's called the basic set. Family set is what the company views as signature set. See, it's in the middle up there. And on the far right, or the far left rather, is the ultimate set, which is the block is here. And we call that the complete set. They call it the ultimate in the factory. They're really good at engineering, cool stuff, but in terms of psychology, you would never want to call it the ultimate. I'd be like, ultimate, I don't need ultimate. We call it the complete. Just like Homemaker plus 8, I'd rather just call it the basic. Alright, and then the signature set I call family. Alright, so just a different way of promoting it in order for it to show up for the customer as like practical. And you really want to strengthen that word practical, or reinforce the word practical with the customer, okay? Sam?
These seats are designed for practical cooking. If you had the right tool to do the right job, would it be easier, safer, and faster to do that job?
Oh, yes.
And it's like golfing with the right club or constructing something with the right tool.
So you're using analogies, right? Do you guys, have you ever used something other than a screwdriver to undo a screw? You've all been guilty of it, right? But it's annoying. You bang your knuckles, you beat the heck out of whatever it is you're doing. we've all tried to like use things that aren't meant to be used as a tool, and you know though if you use the right tool to do the right job, isn't it just easy? It's like done, all right. Versus trying to hammer something in with the back of like I don't know a rock or something. Go get a freaking hammer, all right. It's so much easier to go. All right, great. So you're gonna use those type of analogies. You ever try to like, wear like dress shoes at the gym because you forgot your sneakers? So that's the analogy you could use. Is like if you use the right sneakers or the right shoe to do the activity, it's a lot easier. So the analogy is, hey, I mean, Aunt Sally, could you imagine running a marathon in high heels? They'd be like, what the heck? All right, so that's why shoes are shaped for particular tasks. So you're gonna, show them that the knives are shaped for particular tasks or functions. Okay, can you finish that paragraph, and then Donnie will be next.
The problem is that most people try to use one knife for everything, but that one knife was not only designed for one task. There is no such thing as a universal knife. It would be like running a marathon and hanging it.
Okay, so you're getting the hang of this. So a couple of, example. I always say a set of knives like a set of golf clubs, mechanics, tools, and then ladies' shoes. You could come up with other ones, but those are the three I used to like to use. Okay, so start to kind of get the hang of that. Mechanic tools, golf clubs, ladies' shoes, or just shoes in general for any human being, a variety of different things. Next paragraph, Donnie.
Cutco engineers got together 60 years ago, listed on a board the different foods that were cut up in an ordinary average household, like tomato, bread, carrot, turkey. Then designed and shaped the fewest amount of tools to cut that food into bite-sized pieces. They came up with the 8 knives and 2 forks in the basic set.
So you see how we're presenting it to be really small and manageable? Isn't that neat? But you're also saying, hey, we began with the end in mind and created the tool. Now, everything we're reviewing right now, what page is it on? 7, sure, but in your blue binder. Bingo. This is important, Stephen, and everybody else. Check it out. If I turn the page too fast, look up your eyes up here. I want you to experience what a customer experience. Imagine I didn't say anything to you about sets at all. Selling sets, in general, and I turn to this page. What's the first thought? Well, usually it's not a set. Your first thought is I get to pick from those, right? Oh, that's a lot of knives. That's a lot of steel. So you don't see this as one thing, do you? Now, so that's why we would never turn the page until you do. Check it out. Outside in the parking lot, there's a bunch of what? See, we see them as one item. You get that? But really, you'd also be right by saying there are a pile of car parts out there. But when you piece the car parts together, the human eye no longer sees it as a bunch of individuals. The human eye now looks at it as one whole thing. You guys get that? All right? We say, oh, that's a person. We don't go, oh, that's a pile of organs. Right? So when you turn the page, you want them to look at this as one car, one set, not, oh, tailpipe, steering wheel, muffler, windshield, that sort of thing. Cool way of paralleling it, right? So that's why on the bottom of the guarantee page, you're going to be doing everything we're doing down here, and then you turn the page and they're ready to see the tools. And you want them to see it as a set, one thing, not a bunch of individual things, okay? All right, so last paragraph, Peter, you're up.
A few of the 8 knives you will not use every day, but you'll still use them a lot over the next 20 to 40 years of you using Cutco. I'm going to show you your basic set first that only has 8 knives and 2 forks, yet covers every task in the kitchen. Typo.
Yeah, my bad. It's all good. All right, so now that properly prepares them to see also like what's like the butcher knife, which you guys know we call the melon knife, which I'll review in a bit. See, there's certain knives where you don't want somebody to make up their mind or decide, I'm only going to get all the tools if I use them every single day. That's just not real. Guys, I have a wool coat. How many times a year do I really use that? How many months of the year do I really use that thing? If that, you know what I mean? And so the point is I still pay a lot of money on it. So as human, we don't need to use something every day just by owning it. So there's certain tools where you're going to kind of beat them to the punch. It's called handle a concern before the concern even forms or comes up. You guys get it? The best time to answer another human being's question is before they even have the question pop up in their head. Best time, I'd rather not learn how to put out fires. I'd rather create environments where the fire doesn't even... Exactly. So you want to answer a question. So before a customer says, I'm not going to use it every day. Why do I have that? Before they even have a chance to have that thought, I'm going to explain to them, hey, by the way, some of these tools you're not going to use every day, but that's okay. We still put them in the set because over the lifetime of using them, you're going to get enough usage and convenience out of them. That's why we have to put them in the set. All right, and you say, and then you dive into turning the page, guys. So all this is about pleasing the customer, but also makes you more money because the order ends up being what? Bigger. Yeah. Okay, because they understand why they should get, a larger order. Back to this, or look at page 6. Okay, now that I stapled in a newer thing, you could cross off the upper paragraph. See where it says Mrs. Blank, I'm going to explain to you. Cross off the first 3 lines through safety and efficiency in bold. See how it's a safety and efficiency? It's redundant now that we stapled in a new paragraph on the page before. So on top of page 6, those first 3 lines are just not necessary. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you read into them, okay? But I'm just saying it's redundant, it's not necessary at this stage. So those upper 3 paragraphs, or lines rather. Okay, so who was just reading? Were you reading, Peter?
Yeah.
So Juliet, you're up. We have 2 larger.
We have 2 large set options for customers who like what we call the ultimate and signature sets. Our basic set is our most popular and it's called the Homemaker Plus 8. It has a minimum number of tools to do 100% of the jobs in the kitchen as efficiently as possible. It's the best value for the average family and starts with your...
Now you see the word your? You want to say your because why?
I want to make it seem like Mary's ordered.
Yeah, and not because it's a tactic, but because you really do expect that. See, my manager didn't have to tell me to put the word your. I don't even think the word your was even in my original manual, but that's just the way I spoke because I expected they were going to buy, not I hope they're going to buy with my fingers crossed. It just made sense to me after I was taught how to do the job, and plus I believed in the product line a lot, and I knew people could afford it. Okay, so that's why you want to start to use the word your because you really expect that, not because you're like, oh, let me hope and keep my fingers crossed. And this is a fancy technique to show that I'm confident. All right, so it's got to be, hey, let me talk about your set. Let me talk about your guarantee. Here's what you're going to use it for. All right, here's many years to come. You're going to love your Cutco. Here's why. Blah blah blah. Okay, all those different things, guys. Another thing, as you go through each of these tools, imagine you were explaining to somebody why a tennis racket was the way a tennis racket is. Imagine trying to play tennis with like a stick that had nothing. Like, think how hard that would be, right? Or you guys get my point, right? You want to kind of talk about the tools that people use with the sports equipment and why they're shaped the way they're shaped. Obviously, we put little pieces of plastic on the bottom of cleats so that people could play on a muddy field, right? So I'm just giving you another thing we can relate to, the shape of sports tools, and you want to start to look at knives the same way and communicate that to them as well as the consumer, the customer. Another thing too, you'll see with each of these knives, you're going to want to do a paint the picture, not just with your words, but also with your what? Hands, yeah. I forgot to cover this opening comment, but you'll find the majority of communication with 2 people, it's done with your body, yeah. See, there's what we say to somebody, and there's what really gets communicated to them with our body. See, I could say to you, I'm really confident. So I said that, that's what I said, but what did I really communicate just now? Not confident and secure. You guys get that? And you totally pick up on that. So 55% of communication is body language. 30% is your tone. 15% of the words. Almost irrelevant. That's why you could put mute on a TV and you could tell what emotions the actors have. Just by their bodies. So you want to make sure when you're doing this job or anything in life, when you're promoting something, you want to make sure that not only are you saying it, but your body's communicating it. Like, hey, this product's fantastic. I can't wait for you to own it. I totally stand behind it. That's why I show this product line. But I want you to know why it works well, Aunt Sally, and that way you can make the confident decision to buy a set of Cutco at the end. My words, my tone, and my body language all says the same thing. Do you get that? Once one of those 3 things are off, person doesn't trust you then. That's why if you're going to say you're confident, your body has to say that. Okay? Otherwise, don't say it. That's how that works. So with this, you want to paint the picture with your body. So instead of saying, hey, did you ever try to get the last bit of mayonnaise out of the jar, it ends up on your knuckles? You'd say, hey, you ever try to get the last bit of mayonnaise out of the jar, it ends up on the back of your knuckles? You see how by painting a picture with my hand, you started to almost get a visual up in your own noggin? Hey, you ever chase bacon in your frying pan and can't grip onto it? You're like, get back here? Hey, you ever chase bacon in the frying pan? It's like, you can't grip onto it. It's like, get back here. You see just that little extra step of this with this? It gives you that that visual. Hey, you ever saw through watermelon with a dull knife and you kind of have to just snap it open with your hands? Versus, hey, you ever have a watermelon and you try to saw through with a dull knife, kind of get stuck in there, you have to kind of crack it open with your bare hands? Don't you hate that? But with Cutco, you can just slice it down the middle, put it on its side, quarter it. You have this canoe-shaped piece of watermelon. With the butcher knife, you just chop up and down every inch. These little triangle pieces of watermelon. Right, spitting seeds at people. There's a rhyme for that. Your Uncle Charlie. Right. You guys get a bit of a visual better with me using my hand motions. What better way to paint the picture physically than to actually pull out a tomato? Hey, try it. You guys get it? Or hey, try a carrot. Or hey, try a slice of bread. This is where you want to have fun with this section. As we go through what we're doing is reading off the knives. Some of you guys will have the opinion of it seems like a lot of information. So you want to battle that perception, battle against it. Because you just haven't done a demo yet, so I get it's going to show up for you that way. Don't forget as you do each appointment, won't it get a little
Easier.
Yeah, like you'll know what to boom, boom, boom. Not because you're pulling things out either. Like you're eliminating paragraphs, just because you're more fluid with the material. Alright? Okay? So don't go in expecting that this is going to bore people, because you're going in with that prediction. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy then, right? And you'll be lame. Right? So you don't want to do that. Put a star next to paring knife. You're going to put a star next to the knives that are in the kit you'll be borrowing. Once again, you don't need the actual all the knives to sell it, but at least we'll put stars next to the key thing. So paring knife you will have in your kit. Trimmer you will have as well. That's the next knife down. Petite carver is the next one. Okay, and the bit I'll have you, you know what, flip over, go to the next page, put a star next to table knife so I don't forget. Table knife is on the next page, table knife. So you should have a star with the paring knife, star with the trimmer, the carver, and then the table knife was on the next page. Those are the 4 knives that you will have in the kit that you're borrowing starting Saturday, guys. And there'll be some additional tools as well, like a pair of shears, a vegetable peeler, a cutting board, enough to demonstrate the product line. Listen, just because you don't have the knife in the kit you're borrowing, you still need to point at the picture and explain. Don't forget that the edge that's on the trimmer is no different than the edge on the slicer, just that the slicer is bigger and longer, because it's designed for like loaves of bread and big cakes you can pull through with one swipe. That's so you need to still show the picture and explain why it's shaped that way. Okay? We didn't give you all the tools because, quite frankly, we don't want people borrowing kits that cost a chunk of money. You guys get that? All right? You got to make sure you give your kit back when you're what? Done with it, all right? Otherwise you're stealing. You get that? And that's a major issue, okay? You don't want to get involved in theft and all that stuff, all right? So we just want to make sure that the kits are somewhat manageable in size, all right? So that way, enough to demonstrate, but not too much where you're now, carrying around a whole chunk of Cutco with you at all times, right? A couple of pointers. Use the manual for sure, but then as you start to get to know the people and what they're into cooking, feel free to use some examples that would be appropriate for them. Okay, so if you're sitting down with a vegetarian, don't say meat every other word. I used to do that by accident. I'm like, oh crap. And she's like, I'm a vegetarian. I go, steak, steak, steak. I'm a vegetarian. I go, oh, that's for tofu. I said, I mentioned that's for tomato. I had to go back and redo all the knives because I freaking didn't know she was a vegetarian. I'm like, yeah. Asher kept kosher. He's Jewish, so he wouldn't promote like, cheeseburgers to other people that kept kosher, right? And he would sell a lot of double sets, one for meat, one for dairy, one in white, one in black. Know your audience is my point. I have a lot of Italian relatives, so I promote those type of things. Alright, so, Jamaican cuisine is a certain type of cuisine, Filipino, Asian type of cuisine, etc. Know who you're dealing with, and promote those things properly. Alright? The way a bridging technique works is, I'm going to save some time because I need to get you guys to do your, you need to know what your assignment is, and we want to get you guys out of here on time. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have a chance to role play all of this. In fact, tonight, one of your assignments will be to read this out loud at least once. Don't read it out loud to a person, because you don't have what to show them. The product, okay? But you want to read it out loud just so you're feeling the words go through your vocal cords. So just in your room somewhere, read it out loud. Not up in your head. That's not real practice. Like actually let the words go through your vocal cords and say it aloud like an actor running their lines, okay? But I do want to show you what this is called a bridging technique. Here's what the bridging technique is. This knife's great for this, but it's not good for that. That's why we have this. We have to do that so that way they differentiate from the tools. They don't think they can use one knife for bingo. You get that? So yeah, I'll repeat that. This knife is really good for this, but it's not good for that. That's why we have this. And that's how you transition from one tool to the next throughout this whole set here. And it's word for word, so it's pretty easy.
Like tonight, you want us to just go through the 4 that you have started, or all of them?
No, tonight you're going to just read out loud page 1 through 7. It shouldn't take you long. I mean, there's nobody to answer any questions.
I just know if you want us to do just these 4 knives.
The whole demo, 1 through 7. Okay, so read out loud, 1 through 7. See me later if you have questions. We just such a short timeline. I know I'd answered his question, but it opens up a floodgate, so we're going to hold up there. Right? Otherwise, we won't be done on time. Remember what it is, though, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so air knife, paring knife, handcuffs from the tool. Everyone needs a good paring knife. Cutco's long handle makes peeling and paring comfortable. You'll use this for small jobs in the air. That's why it has a traditional straight edge, guys. Any of the knives that get sawed back and forth, we have the double durable edge on those. So you teach people, like, hey, if there's straight edge, Aunt Sally, don't rub this back and forth. It'll go dull. And it will. So you teach them double durable edge, okay to saw back and forth. Anything with a traditional straight edge, either straight up and down or up in the air. That's why we designed them to be that way. There's no need to have the points if it's going to be up in the air to begin with. So you'll use this for small jobs in the air, but never on the cutting board. That's why you have your... So there you go. That's the bridging technique. All right, then you go through the trimmer next. Have them cut a tomato. Trial close there. See how it says which color do you like best? So So you say, this one comes with the black handle, this one comes with the white handle, which do you like best? By them answering that question, what are they saying out loud? Exactly, and they're trying out for size visually. They're like, I like that, yeah. So they're totally developing an ownership. They're empowering themselves to envision using the product line, okay? So that's exactly why you would do a series of what's called trial close questions. Okay, well, you don't want them to say in their mind, and because you guys buy into this too, if I have a trimmer, why do I need a petite carver? If technically, could I use a plastic knife the rest of my life? Really, I could, technically. People don't need Cutco. We also don't need a car. We don't need a cell phone. But yet, would we ever go through our lives without a cell phone from now on? Heck no. You're going to find there's a lot of things we say we need, but do we actually need them? No, they're just convenient. So much so that they feel like a need to us now, but they really are still classified as a what? A want or desire, okay? So the point is this, people don't need Cutco, but they do want the convenience of it. So that's why a trimmer is shaped differently than a petite carver, lengthwise. Let me exaggerate for effect. Would I ever use that sword to cut a tomato? No. Because my hand is too far away from the tomato. You guys get that? Alright, so that's why we designed the trimmer to be this length, if you look up here, because that way your hand is close to the tomato. But then once you get to a grapefruit that's like that big, or a cantaloupe, can I pull through with one swipe with this, with the cantaloupe? No, so that's when we had to go up to, hey, let's make it longer to pull through those things. Then if I have a turkey, then it's like, alright, then I need my carving knife. Do you see how it's small, medium, and large? And depending on what you're cutting, we then design them to be a bit longer or shorter. So, again, this will make more sense as you actually role play it out loud. It's all word for word here. Go down to butcher knife, let's speed this up. See how it says butcher knife? Write down the word practical next to butcher knife. You also have to write down the word, you also have to write down, well, it already says melon knife, right? So write down practical. Also write down wool coat, wool coat. I parallel to that of a wool coat. I go, hey, this knife is like a wool coat. You heard me say that earlier. You're not going to use it every day, but you're going to use it enough throughout your lifetime. That's why we put in this set for you. Kid Perry on my team back in 2004, I want to say, sold like 15 grand for the summer really fast. He made $3,500 in commission. He was doing it part-time too, because he was a pretty cool entrepreneur. They were selling polo shirts like on Amazon or something. Before it was even popular, they had their own online store. But he wanted to learn the sales skills from Cutco, so I taught him how to do it. Problem is he wasn't selling any homemakers, which is this set here. A lot of galley sets, one notch down. The missing knives between the galley and the homemaker, no butcher knife, no carving set. So because he was selling a lot of galleys, that told me that he was promoting those knives in a way that the customer's like, I don't need that. You get it? Like cause and effect? I had him come in and role play this section with me, so he gets to the butcher, he's like, hey Joe, this is the mini machete. I'm like, Perry, who the hell wants a machete in their kitchen, dude? I'm like, can we not call it a machete? You know, I laughed about it with him. He's like, oh yeah, I get it, okay. Alright, let's call it a practical melon knife. Let's talk about splitting apart frozen hamburgers. Alright, so don't be like calling it a machete. Alright, so people will be like, no. And then, you know what's funny? He started selling basic sets for homemakers, right? Because he was presenting tools, he was taking responsibility for them seeing it as practical, alright, versus some exotic weird in my backyard chopping through jungle stuff. You know, like what the hell, you know? Alright, cool. So the rest is word for word on that page. The next page is all word for word too. Again, we can role play this tomorrow morning, you know, but also tonight you're going to read it out loud. So, we're going to do your names as assignment, but so I don't forget, let's write down your assignments first. So close up your manual. Actually, well, there's a section in your manual for assignments. I think it's in the back.
Yeah, on the back.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, go to the very back, just flip over your manual. Close up the blue binder. Okay, make sure you don't have any of your personal stuff in the blue binder because you're going to leave them today because we don't have one for everybody. By tomorrow we will though, you'll take them home tomorrow. But just make sure you don't leave, like, some of you guys put stuff in the blue binder that's yours personally. Take that out though, because we want to make sure you don't leave it in there because you may get a different binder. We're going to stack them up on the table here before you go. But does everybody flip over their manual? Look in the back, assignment day 1. Put a star next to names list, even though you don't know what that is yet. But you will soon enough. Okay, so put a star next to names list, even though you don't know what that is yet. Don't worry about phone numbers. Cross it out. It's a system that another office uses. We don't use that system. So cross off phone numbers. You guys got that? Cross off phone numbers. Keep a star next to names list. Review demo. Write down read out loud 1 through 7. Read out loud page 1 through 7. So you're going to read out loud, which is an opportunity to role play a bit more. By the time you leave here Saturday, I want you to feel like you've already been doing this for a while. And the only way that's going to happen is by reading it out loud many times. So that way you're like, oh, although it's my first demo, it almost feels like I've done this 10 times, so I'm good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock. Remember the popcorn kernel? I got it. Alright, so bring lunch and food with you tomorrow. You guys can eat all throughout the day. You're not going to have the time to go get food and bring it back. So you must be responsible to bring food with you. We have a fridge, we have a microwave. Okay, so bring food with you. Everybody crystal clear on that? Because we're going to role play while we eat. Tomorrow we're going to do a lot of role playing. The closing, the dropping down to smaller sets, how you go from a basic set down to even one knife potentially. We'll role play the phone approach tomorrow as well to get you guys all set up powerfully for that. So bring your food with you. Be responsible about that, gang. I'm going to go have one of the AMs buy real food so we can do some cutting clinic stuff. We're not going to end up eating that though. We're just going to cut it up, like tomatoes, carrots, stuff like that. So you'll have a chance to try out Cutco tomorrow, like on real food. Build your product conviction. Woo! Well, it says bring some food to cut. I'll just buy it for you, so don't worry about that, guys. All right? Arrive Cutco or vector time. That means arrive 15 minutes early. Okay, so that's what that means. So plan now for your ride. Have integrity. Find a way. Make sure you're here on time, ready to rock. Okay, we start tomorrow. What time? 9:45 arrival, 10 o'clock start. Hey, Justin Kim. All right. It's funny. But I have limited time, so Justin's not going to really just introduce himself. But Justin started with me as a rep, 1999. Was a district for a period of time, and then now he's a CSP, Cutco Sales Professional. So Justin sells out in the field. He knows the real estate person program, fair and show. He still has his own customers in-home demonstration. Justin's in the Hall of Fame like me. I'm in the Hall of Fame as a manager. Justin is in the Hall of Fame as a rep. Justin, what are your career sales?
About 7 and change.
Okay, so he's almost at $750,000, which is pretty sweet. All right, and obviously his next major milestone, he'll sell $1 million in official Cutco cutlery. Okay, so JBB, you guys know, is over 1.1 million. Justin is in the $700,000 range. Osher's in the $600K range. All right, that's how that works. So we've been doing this for a while. It's good. So Justin went to Bronxville for high school, so he's from the area. Went to Franklin Marshall, okay, for college. Okay, I guess that's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or Scranton? No, Lancaster. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. So you guys got your assignments for tomorrow. Make sure you're ready to rock with that. Go to a fresh piece of paper and label it names list, and we have to do this in 8 minutes or less. Okay, so stay focused. I need everybody to be intentional here. Okay? So go to a fresh piece of paper if you need a... Here, you want a notebook?
Sure.
Here, take this.
No.
Okay, that's perfect. Anybody else need paper? Okay, write down names list, N-A-M-E-S list. Okay, so what you guys are going to do right now, you're literally going to make a list. Listen closely before you start. Just write down names list. You're going to list anybody you've ever met in your entire life. Now, the second I say that, it's funny, as humans, we like to restrict ourselves. There really are no restrictions. Some of you guys are like, well, do you have to be a certain age? No. Do you have to live somewhere? No, they can live anywhere. You know, do I have to like them? No. Right? It's human beings you ever met. Do they have to be close friends of yours? No. Could they be, though? Yeah, it's human beings you ever met. See how I'm being very general? Let it be general. But isn't it funny, as humans, we love to, like, restrict. All right? And you're also going to get a taste of what it's like to be a customer, too, a little bit right now, right? So I'm going to give you thought joggers, however, to help you through the process, just like you're going to give your customers thought joggers. As human beings, we remember things by like folders in our brain. That's how the computer companies created like a desktop with folders. So if I say school teachers, you're like, oh yeah, that's a file I have there, and I'll remind you, right? If I say sports teams, oh yeah. If I say immediate family, like your mom and dad, you're like, okay, yeah, okay. You know, aunts, uncles, cousins, like that's immediate family. So I'm going to give you those thought joggers as you're writing. This is the start to your assignment. In a bit, I'm going to tell you how many names you actually have to write down when you go home tonight. So get a head start now. That way it allows for you to be ahead of the game when it comes to your assignment this evening. Everybody clear on that? Because this is the names of the assignment you put a star next to. Do it in columns because then it's easier to count to find out how many you have. Do not write down their full name. You don't have to. Because this list is for who?
You.
You, not me. Well, you. Okay, you meant the IU? Okay, got it, cool. All right. Okay, that doesn't work. All right, so this list is for you. You're never going to give this to me, gang. But don't just put initials, because you want to be able to go back tomorrow and look and remember who you're talking about. If you know like 50 Joes, don't just keep writing down Joe, Joe, Joe. Write down Joe G, Joe T, Joe R. Somehow be able to, when you do go back, remember which Joe you were talking about. Don't write down the name of a family. Again, it's each individual person. Don't write down the Giannellis. Put down each member. You guys got it? Do this in columns, though. Ready, set, go. Put down mom if you met your mom. Put down dad if you met your dad. Like literally, start with immediate family. Mom, dad, aunts, uncles' names. Put your grandparents' names, cousins, your kids if you're a parent. Again, your grandparents. So go through the list of those. Again, this is anybody you ever met in your entire life. I'm going to continue to give you guys some additional thought joggers as you go through. If you ever get stuck, remember who you wrote down and write down who they know. So like, Put down your mom's friends. That's another file in your brain. We have folders in our brains, if you recall. Put down your dad's friends. Put down your brother's friends. Put down your sister's friends. Put down anybody you went to high school with. That's another whole folder in your brains. Mine too. Visualize your yearbook. Okay, keep writing, guys. You should be cruising, all right? You've met thousands of people since the day you were born until now. It doesn't have to be close friends. They could be any age. I don't care where they live. So whoever pops up in your brain, you put them on. You can describe them for all I care. Put deli dude. All right? So, it's human beings you've ever met. You're going to brainstorm them on paper here. Put down people you went to high school with, like I said. If you were a freshman, who was a senior? When you were a senior, who was a freshman? Maybe who went to a rival high school? Who'd you play sports with? Put your coach's name, your fellow athletes, different clubs you're part of. Maybe you played in a band growing up. Who's in that band? Put down anybody you go to church with, synagogue with, old jobs. Put your bosses, put the colleagues. So visualize these folders. If you're opening them up on your brain computer desktop, who would be in them? Okay, so jot all of them down. Virtually, too. Think about who's on your Facebook account. If you had all your old cell phones here, who would be programmed into this? And visualize that yearbook. I mean, some of you guys went to high schools with like 1,200 people. Even if you weren't close friends with those people, again, it's human beings you ever met. Put down all your aunts, like I said, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters. Put down your brother's neighbors, your sister's neighbors. Oh, put down your current neighbors. Duh, that's a whole folder, right, in your brain? Old neighbors, current neighbors. Whoever writes down the most names tonight will get the comfy chair and also an MVP pin to wear. Okay, so keep going. Right, fast.
It's a comfy chair.
Just right here. Oh, your butt's not so hard. Keep writing. Go.
Go through all your Facebook friends.
Basically, yeah. So get a visual, yeah. Later today you'll do that, but for now, just keep writing. You want to get a head start on this now, though. Okay, so again, put down anybody you use to date. That could be a list for some of you guys. So, you don't want to remember, so remember. Put down your doctors, your dentist, who cuts your hair, who does your nails. Your family lawyer, family accountant, your parole officer. Just kidding. All right, put down people you may have wanted to date. I don't know, whatever. Put down friends of friends. Put down your friends' boyfriends, your friends' girlfriends, your friends' significant others. Again, if you get stuck, just let one name trigger other memory of other names. Okay, so if that person was in training, who do they know? Because you could write down people you know through them. Like, if your mom was here, who would she write on paper? And obviously, if you could recall them, it means you met them at least once or you heard about them. So again, keep going, guys. It could be any human being. I don't care how old they are. Old neighbors, current neighbors. Again, all your immediate family. It doesn't really matter. You're just thought jogging, brainstorming any human being here. Okay, let me stop you there. Normally I'd give you a bit more time and people would get up to like 100 or something like that. I assume everybody here has at least 20, something like that. Okay, give or take. Okay, so the assignment tonight, listen closely, you want to use things to help you. That's what Mel was just saying, which is a great idea. You don't have to do this based on memory. You should use your old cell phone directories. I used my mom's address book. I used my, Facebook didn't exist when I'm an old guy now. So back then I used yearbook. You guys have things like Facebook, old things like that. Your assignment is to get to at least 1,000 names. I'm just kidding, okay? So that's an exercise and start high, drop low, okay? So, no, in actuality, it's 200. But if I start off by saying 200, you'd be like, what? But now I start off with 1,000, 200 looks differently to you, okay? I personally did 1,100 names as a rep, if you're wondering. So I do expect you guys to go more than 200, all right? Because it only can help you. Do not think of who you're going to sell Cutco to, because a lot of these people, will you ever call?
No.
No. You're doing it as a thought jog exercise. So look up here. Come. You're about 10% of these people you'll probably ever contact. But that's not the point. You don't want to begin with restrictions. You want to begin with an all-inclusive list, maximize the brainstorm session, so then you have a big list to then pick from. Okay, you don't want to go the other way around. You don't want to begin with restrictions. You want to begin with all-inclusive, not exclusive. Guys get it? So it could be anybody you've ever met entire life. Again, the assignment's at least 200. Do not come in with 190 and test my integrity and your integrity. You guys got that? So use things to help you. I mean, your yearbook alone has tons of people you met at least once. Your sports lists, again, Facebook, old cell phones. There's literally thousands of people. We've had magazine articles produced where they say the average American knows several thousand people by name. You just got to remember or jog your memory. Fair enough? Yeah. So now, strive for more. There's a key staff program. Some of you, who here is excited about strengthening their resume at a very high level? Okay, and if you're not, that's okay. But if you are, that's great. Key staff is a group of captains on the team. Even if you're not here forever with Cutco, I've promoted people that are just here even a month because they're demonstrating leadership skills and qualities. We will have future breakfasts for the Key Staff program where I teach advanced techniques. Don't forget, guys, listen, I don't know everything about everything. When it comes to owning a company, managing people, psychology, all that, I can teach you guys a lot of great techniques that'll put you ahead of your competitors when it comes to future jobs and being executives. So the Key Staff program is something where you'll learn to be a captain, again, like an honor sports team. The only way that's going to happen, you have to embody leadership. So work hard on the assignment, separate yourself from the rest of the group, and then obviously my opinion of you would be like, okay, you're a leader, and I'll be right about that opinion by making sure you do super well. You guys get that? But once again, the assignment is what? It's 200. Strive for more, though. Okay. The office record's like over 4,000 names. Right now, you don't have to handwrite it if you don't want. You can type it, but you do have to press print because you're going to need to go through it tomorrow. It's built into training, guys. So you have to have a hard copy, but it may be quicker for you guys to, whatever, or cut and paste, whatever method you want to use, but have a printout or a handwritten whatever, so that way tomorrow you can go through it. Okay. Well, yeah, count it before. You don't have to number, but know the count because you're gonna have to know. Thank you for. I forgot to. Yeah. So when you come in, Stephen, you're gonna sign in and write down how many names you have. Okay. So have the count ready to go when you come in tomorrow morning. You guys get that? Okay. But again, don't come in with like 190. Because to me, that you're just setting yourself up to have me view you as one who is like, whatever. You guys get the point. Okay. It could be any human being you ever met. I don't care if you put down your 1-year-old cousin in Arkansas. All right. It's totally fine. It counts as a human being, right? Okay, great. All right. Even if they're mutant, still put them down. Okay, great. All right. So fantastic. Great job today. Today's training is always perceived as the hardest. Why? Because it's new. You guys get it? But you're getting the hang of this. You're on track. Why? Because I get to say so. I've done this for 13 years. If you're ever insecure, don't listen to your own voice. Listen to whose? Me. I'm the one that's done it for 13 years. You guys got that? So I'll let you know when you're on track and off track as far as technically goes. But as far as like confidence and all of that, you guys are exactly where you need to be because you're exactly where you are. All right? And all there is to do is to get ready for training tomorrow. Okay? All the other stuff is just drama and meaning and all that crap that we apply to the equation. All right? Get ready for a really good January. Whether you do this for the break only or long term, we're going to make sure this is a January that you never get over. Meaning it's something that will teach you great skills that you'll reflect back on and say, hey, that was a cool program where I learned a lot of great, awesome skills. I had a lot of fun and I made good income for myself to be stable and focus on that. Okay? We get the hands in. On the count of 3, we say power. That's our team name. Put a hand on a shoulder if you like. You guys ever been on a sports team?
Yeah.
All right, put the hands in, put a hand on a shoulder, whatever. It's like a team, guys. We're the Westchester Power, so you got to say the word power with power on the count of 3. You got to say the word power with power, not like power, because that kind of contradicts the word. You know what I mean? All right, so on the count of 3, we say power. That's our team name, the Westchester Power. 1, 2, 3. Power! All right, sweet. All right, shake my hand before you go. And work hard on the assignment tonight. If you have any questions, stick around. If you have any questions, stick around. If you have any questions, stick around. I'll be here all day, so if you have any questions, hang out.
You're gonna be seeing you here.
Make sure you leave the binders, please, but take your manuals and all your other stuff with you. Make sure you shake my hand before you go. I'll be by the door. And then if you have any questions, stay in this room. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.
Good tomorrow.
Yeah, done. Good? All right, see you, Mark. All right. All right, down. Okay, sure. See you, Mark. See you, Mark. All right. All right, Mark. See you, Mark.
See you
That's it.
tomorrow.
All right, well done. Cool. All right, Mom. I'll let you. See you tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Michael.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Fine, see you tomorrow. All right. Oh, meet you. How you know me? Oh, that's just a conditioned response. Yeah, we don't think that's your... Nice to meet you. I mean, I already know you. All right. Only if you blow up my car or step on my toe, she'd bother me. Because I prefer you to call me Joe. I'm not like 67 years old, and now, don't get me wrong. I don't. If I need to like be more of an authoritative figure, then I would say call me Mr. Giannelli. But ultimately, I don't really care what you call me. Yeah, well, this is Live Strong. You know what that is, hope and healing. This has to do with some like the therapy I've done in the past. So, awesome. Good questions. I like it. I dig it.